Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6 JAC 2207A. We will be presenting on the case study of ESP Audit Committee Charter. So this is our group members. My name is Asha Zafira. We have Melissa Antasha, Fatin Alia, Iman Madiha, Atira and Nuraisha Shawra. Now let's start with the introduction. The Audit Committee plays an essential role in assisting the Board of Directors in ensuring the integrity of financial reporting, the effectiveness of internal controls, and the independence of audit functions. A well-designed Audit Committee Charter is crucial because it sets clear expectations regarding authority, responsibilities, and committee composition. Although the ESP Audit Committee Charter is comprehensive, our review identified several governance weaknesses that may affect audit effectiveness. Therefore, this case study focuses on three key issues, which is the potential threat to external auditor independence, the lack of clarity in review responsibilities, and limited financial literacy requirements among audit committee members.
The evidence for the issue can be clearly identified from the Audit Committee Charter under Specific Duty Item 6. The Charter explicitly states that the external public accounting fee ought to be managed by the Chief Audit Executive and summarized for committee review and approval. This statement demonstrates that the Chief Audit Executive is given direct responsibility over the management of external audit fee, while the Audit Committee role is limited to reviewing and approving a summary prepared by the CAE. The provisions serve as a direct documentary evidence that the financial relationship between the organization and the external public accountant is not controlled by the Audit Committee itself, but instead administered by internal audit through the CAE. As a result, the CAE is placed in a position of financial influence over the external auditor, which creates potential conflict of interest. The issue represents a significant internal audit and governance concern because it compromises the independence and objectivity of the internal audit function, particularly the role of the Chief Audit Executive. From a professional perspective, the CAE is responsible for providing independent and objective assurance to the Audit Committee and the Board. Under the IIA International Professional Practice Framework, internal audit must be free from conflict of interest. However, assigning the management of external public accounting fees to the CAE places the role beyond assurance and into financial influence, weakening internal audit independence. From a work ethic perspective, external auditors should report directly to the Audit Committee, not internal audit. CAE involvement in fee management blurs professional boundaries and creates self-interest and familiarity traits, reaching IIA Standard 110 on independence and IIA Standard 1120 on objectivity. Overall, the arrangement undermines ethical value, audit credibility, and governance integrity. Therefore, responsibility for managing external audit fees should rest solely with the Audit Committee.
For the recommendation, based on the conflict of interest identified, it is recommended that the Audit Committee Charter assign full responsibility for external auditor fee management to the Audit Committee and remove any involvement of the Chief Audit Executive as the CAE represents an independent assurance functions. This separation eliminates self-interest and intimidation traits, restore proper governance boundaries between internal and external audit, and aligns with IIA Standard 1110 on independence. It also reinforces Audit Committee ownership on external audit oversight, ensuring that the financial relationships with external auditors are managed transparently and responsibly. From a moral and ethical perspective, this recommendation demonstrates integrity, impartiality, and professional respect. It prevents perceived financial influence over the external auditor even in situations where no actual bias exists, and protects stakeholder confidence in the audit process. Moving to the second recommendation, external auditors should report directly to the Audit Committee and submit annual written independence declarations. This strengthens Audit Committee oversight, enhances governance accountability, and aligns with IIA Standard 1120 on objectivity, and prevents law blurring. From a moral and ethical standpoint, this recommendation promotes honesty, transparency, and accountability in audit relationships. It supports ethical assurance and contributes to a strong good governance culture where decisions are made responsibly and in the best interest of the stakeholder.
Next, the issue identified in the ESP Audit Committee Charter is the insufficient clarity in review responsibility, which creates ambiguity regarding accountability and follow-up action. Evidence of this issue can be found in the specific duties section of the Charter, where the Audit Committee is repeatedly required to review various reports and processes without clearly defining the scope, depth, or expected outcomes of such reviews. For example, the Charter states the Audit Committee shall review the audit report of the management risk process by internal audit. However, it does not specify whether the committee is responsible for approving management corrective action, setting timeliness for implementation, or ensuring unresolved issues are escalated to the board. Further evidence of unclear review responsibility is observed in the overlapping oversight role amongst management, the Chief Risk Officer, internal audit, and external auditor. For example, the Charter requires the Audit Committee to review management risk processes, internal audit findings, and internal auditor's report on internal control and financial reporting. For the justification of the issue number 2, according to the IIA Standard 1000, purpose, authority, and responsibility, roles and responsibility must be clearly defined to prevent duplication of work and gaps in assurance. However, in this Audit Committee Charter, many review duties are stated broadly without clearly identifying who is responsible for performing, reviewing, and monitoring actions. In addition, IIA Standard 1110 Organizational Independence highlight that internal audit must remain independent. When the audit committee becomes overly involved in detailed reviews, it may blur the line between oversight and execution, which can impair internal audit's independence. Furthermore, IIA Practice Advisory 2060 states that audit committees should receive assurance and report rather than carry out management level reviews. The Charter, however, suggests active involvement in reviews which goes beyond an oversight role. As a result, this lack of clarity creates confusion over ownership of review responsibilities, increase the risk of ineffective oversight and miscontrol weaknesses, leads to inefficient use of audit committee time, and ultimately weakens the three lines model and the overall assurance framework.
For the recommendation, we propose that the Audit Committee Charter establish a clear and transparent allocation of review responsibilities through a formal RLCI framework. This structure clarifies who is responsible, which is R, who is accountable, which is A, who is consulted, which is C, and who must be informed for every review activity, which is I. For example, under this framework, the Chief Audit Executive is responsible for preparing and reporting internal audit findings. The Audit Committee is accountable for reviewing and approving the issue raised. Management is consulted to provide responses and implement corrective actions, and the Board of Directors is informed to the final outcome to ensure transparency and good governance of the company. This recommendation reflects strong moral appreciation because it promotes integrity, fairness, ethical discipline, and professional accountability, ensuring that every member performs their role responsibly and with the respect towards organization and its stakeholders.
The second recommendation is the Audit Committee Charter should clearly define structured procedure for reviewing risk management, internal audit, and external audit report. This will ensure that responsibilities are clearly assigned and that each party understands their role in the review process. Next, the procedure should specify the required documents and the depths of review and the expected outcome. This reduces ambiguity and ensures that reviews are conducted consistently and effectively. In addition, standardized reporting protocols should be implemented. Management and auditors should submit structured reports that clearly highlight key findings, identify risks, and corrective action. This allows the audit committee to focus on critical issues and make informed decisions. All review outcomes and action plans should be properly documented. Clearly documentation enable effective monitoring and ensure that the issues are followed up until they are resolved.
The next issue identified in the ESP Audit Committee Charter is the limited financial literacy requirement for audit committee members. This issue arises because the composition section of the Charter states that only a majority of members to be financially literate and designates only one member as a financial expert. As a result, there is a potential for some members to lack full comprehension of complex financial matters, which may hinder effective oversight. This concern becomes more significant when we consider the duties assigned to the Audit Committee. For example, under Duty 90, the committee is required to review the internal control opinion by the attached auditor, which involves understanding complex judgments about the effectiveness of internal control. Similarly, under Duty 20, the committee must review the financial statements certifications by the CEO and CFO, which requires a strong understanding of financial reporting accuracy and accountability. These responsibilities demonstrates that the audit committee is expected to engage with highly technical financial and audit matters. However, since financial literacy is not required for all members, some may not be fully equipped to critically analyze these reports or challenge management and auditors effectively. As a result, this limited financial literacy requirement may reduce the overall effectiveness of the audit committee, increase reliance on the financial report or management, and weaken the quality of financial oversight within the organization. Moving to our justification. The current charter creates a significant competency gap that threatens the quality of oversight. This occurs because there is fundamental mismatch where the technical duties, such as reviewing Form 10K filings and sensitive accounting estimates, require a level of skills that a simple majority literacy standard cannot provide. If members lack the literacy to independently interpret these financial disclosures, their ability to act as the board principal agent in assuring disclosure integrity is severely compromised. Furthermore, by designating only one financial expert, the charter creates a dangerous single point of failure. This places an undue burden on one individual and leaves the entire committee and the board vulnerable to fiduciary risk if that expert is absent or if complex financial red flags are missed by the rest of the group.
For the third issue, the first recommendation is the Audit Committee Charter should be amended to require all members to financially literate at the times of appointment. Financial literacy ensures that members can understand financial statement, accounting policy, and key audit method presented by management and external auditor. Since all Audit Committee members carry equal fiduciary duties under Malaysian law, a lack of financial knowledge cannot be accepted as a justification for poor oversight. So without this requirement, member may rely excessively on management explanation, increase the risk of unchecked errors and misstatement. So in addition, mandating financial literacy helps eliminate the presence of silent members who merely approve management decisions without proper understandings within the committee. So in addition, financial literacy is essential for effective technical oversight. It enables members to critically review complex matters such as significant accounting estimate, financial judgment, and weaknesses in internal controls, including IT-related deficiency. Secondly, continuous professional development should be made mandatory for all audit committee members. The financial reports and regulatory environments in Malaysia is constantly evolving, particularly with frequent updates to MFRS and Bursa Malaysia and also ESG reporting requirements. Ongoing training ensure that member remains competent and informed rather than relying on outdated knowledge. So furthermore, continuous training improves technical relevance by helping members understanding modern risks such as cybersecurity threats and IT governance weaknesses. This allows the committee to shift from a reactive approach to proactive role in identifying and managing risk feature. That's all from me.
In conclusion, while the ESP Audit Committee Charter demonstrates a strong commitment to governance, transparency, and accountability, several weaknesses limits its effectiveness. Threats to external auditor independence, unclear and overlapping responsibilities, and limited financial literacy may reduce the Audit Committee's ability to exercise effective oversight. Addressing these issues by strengthening independent safeguards, clarifying responsibilities, and enhancing financial expertise will significantly improve audit quality and governance effectiveness. Ultimately, a stronger audit committee charter will enable the board to fulfill its fiduciary responsibilities and align the organization with recognized best practices.